Hey, what's up guys? Jake with Legacy 4x4 here again, and today we're doing wiring because I am making a wiring harness 100% from scratch for my 1967 Jeepster Commando. So the last time you guys saw this, there was no radiator, none of the accessory stuff was plugged in, none of the steering stuff was done, none of that was finished. So starting from the front here, I did add the radiator. I also added the alternator bracket, all of the hoses for the cooling, the water pump pulley bracket, the crankshaft pulley bracket, the distributor, the power steering pulley or pump, and the battery tray. I did make the battery tray. I just cut it on the plasma table, bent it up, welded it into place. Pretty straightforward. And I did also make a custom steering bracket. All right, so I kind of did a couple things already without you guys. Namely, I put the dashboard in and the CB radio is in. The dashboard I actually had cut at my steel supplier because it's too big for my plasma table. Mine's only 4 feet. This dash is nearly 5 feet wide. So I had it cut by them, and then I just painted it and I added some mounts on the back for the CB radio, and I added this plate behind here so I could make the 1967 Jeepster logo kind of pop with that red paint behind it. The general idea here, CB radio is going to be over there, otherwise nothing. We'll have the tachometer and the speedometer up here, and then the 4 auxiliary gauges directly below them. Here we will have all 9 of the switches in a row right here, nice and condensed. I'm doing it like that because it just makes this, it keeps this nice and simple and keeps me from having to make a huge super tall dash or anything like that. And then we'll have the kill switch down here and the ignition start up here. Kind of in the way, I don't like how close these are to them, but there was nowhere else to really put these that gave it good clearance and gave it enough space for the rest of those like stuff. And you only have to hit the ignition switch one time, so whatever. All right, so we got one of these. We got a little relay box here. What this does is it fits 6 fuses and then 6 automotive style relays there, and it's a completely waterproof box. It comes with all of the fittings you need to make it, some instructions and some other stuff. These are the same ones Matt used on his J20. His review is that they're kind of annoying to use, but they work really well and they're nice, and it's a nice clean, you know, concise little package, which is why I wanted it. Also picked up a waterproof fuse panel. I'll use this panel to run all the stuff that doesn't have to run through a relay. The relay box is only going to run through the things like headlights and taillights that need relays on them. Got my kill switch here, which is a heavy duty kill switch I found on eBay for like 13 bucks or whatever. Simple off and on. It's going to go on the dash, and it's going to be there just in case I need to ever kill the Jeep, say it rolls over or something like that. Simple ignition switch with a key. Associated like sending units for the gauges, wiring things, a whole box of wire off of eBay, and I'm using these rocker switches. They're just 2-position rocker switches. Pretty simple. They've got a light on them, and you can put a little sticker on here to detail what each of them is, but pretty simple little thing. And I've got a Davies Craig electric fan controller, so I can do automatic control for both of my electric fans. All right, and last I've got eBay special gauges. So it's a total of a 6-gauge set. They were less than $200 for all 6 of them, and it includes a GPS speedometer. That's crucial to me because I didn't want to try to figure out tone rings or anything like that. So the Jeep will be running a GPS speedometer. These do look pretty good, black and white with a silver edge. All of them are exactly the same, and they should look good to fit with the Jeep the way it is. So I've already got one of the relay boxes finished up. As you can see here, obviously missing the relays and the fuses, but the box itself is done. I'm going to show you guys how I wired up this box for relay box number 2. I will be running all of this off of the one bus box here, and I'm going to do 2 of these relays for each of the pins on this bus bar here. Bottom 6 ports on this fuse box are going to be for that, and then the upper 6 ports are going to run all the other things that need to have fuses on the Jeep. All right, so when it comes to making these things, they actually kind of suck to do. They're good because they're completely waterproof and all that kind of stuff, but they are kind of irritating to make it happen. In order to do it, you will need a few things. You need wire strippers. Recommend automatic ones like this because it makes it a lot faster and easier. Wire cutters, obviously. The way I'm doing this, I'm using a small pair of pliers to kind of like seat these pins onto the wires, and then I'm crimping them with this ratcheting crimp tool, as you can see here. This is absolutely necessary for any kind of electrical connections. They're like 20 something bucks on Amazon. So is this, about 20 something bucks. Easy enough. They're just kind of annoying to use. All right, what's up? I didn't show a lot of this on camera because it was kind of boring. Again, just crimping, cutting, soldering, whatever wires. But here's where we're at right now on this project. So it's a mess. We've got a whole bundle of wires, which is the front and rear harnesses. And then we've got the accessory signal switch wiring harness up in there underneath the dash. But I do have the fuse panel. Mounted over there in the corner, which you can't really see. And then you can see the switch wires running right there over to there. And then you can see the back of the switches here. Nice and straightforward. Like I said, we're making steady progress. I just finished running the wires for the rear harness. You can't really see them. They go underneath this piece of 2x2 angle, which forms the door sill, push all the way back here, and then they tie into the roll cage. And you can see back that way how they go. These are the cheap little CJ taillights you can buy on eBay for like 30 bucks. They've got a 4-wire hookup, which is gonna be, as you can see here, brake and turn lights, reverse. This is the running lights, and then we've got our ground. So we're just gonna start hooking these up according to that. And then we've got a 2-wire hookup back here for our fuel cell sending unit. Pretty straightforward. I also mounted the SSL boom tube, which is gonna be the audio for the Jeep. Simple 2-wire hookup. It's Bluetooth straight to your phone, and all the volume and everything else is controlled from your phone. So the phone will be up there in the front with me, and then everything else will be controlled back here. Not a lot of audio, but it's enough. I just want a little something for background noise. It doesn't need to be crazy, but these do have good reviews, and they're about 100 bucks. So nice and simple. So right now I'm running the front wiring harness through the 3 holes in the firewall, and then I'm just running it down along that passenger side fender, and I'm going to run it up to both of the headlights. The harness will split off, and then it'll power the winch, the headlights, the turn signals, and the fog lights. All right, so of course I wasn't super happy with how this turned out the first time, so I stripped everything off and we're redoing this. I'm going to show you guys real quick what the now new and improved relay setup looks like. Same basic idea, except on the back of it, I drilled 2 holes, routed all the wires for the 2 relay boxes back down through those holes. All right, so now I'm making the gauge harness. So this harness is pretty simple. It uses the plugs that the gauges all came with, and I'm wiring them according to the documentation that came with the gauges. It's gonna have 1 joined power wire that gives power to all the gauges as soon as the key is turned. It's gonna have a signal wire for the gauge backlight. There's a grounding wire that's all gonna get tied all together. So all of those are going to run through this whole harness, and then each of the individual signal wires will be its own sub-harness within this harness that will then run over towards the relay box, where it'll then tie into the respective signal wiring from the front or rear of the Jeep. All right, so we have everything except for the fog lights and the fan controller finished, but we have the majority of the Jeep is completely wired. Let me go ahead and show you guys where we're at now. I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of where everything is, how it all works. All right, we're going to start in here, which is essentially the brain, the central nervous portion of the entire system. Everything on this Jeep runs through either one of these 2 relay boxes or this fuse box up here. I did this to keep things nice and clean and organized, and all 3 of these are individually waterproofed for their own protection and for the protection of the circuits underneath them, which I think is a nice touch. Essentially what happens in here is battery negative connects right there on that side, and then battery positive comes in over here, coming from the master kill switch over on the other side of the Jeep. These 2 relay boxes are fed by these bottom 6 outputs on the bottom of the fuse panel. There's a signal harness, which comes along here and back to the back of all of these switches here. From the relay box, we then go down to this big junction of wires here, and then it spreads out to their dependent loads. This harness by itself is actually my gauge harness. So it runs the tachometer from the distributor, the water temperature gauge, and it also houses the oil pressure gauge. All that stuff goes through this harness, feeds through one of the 3 holes in the firewall there, and then straight into the respective gauge signal wires that are back there. I've got my ignition start, which is my power to the distributor, comes from this ballast resistor located here. The ballast resistor on one end has positive N constant from the ignition. All right, so quick demonstration of how everything works inside this Jeep here. Obviously I have my steering wheel here. Next to it, I have the master kill switch. So there's no constant 12 volt in this Jeep whatsoever. If this switch is switched into the off position, every single circuit on the Jeep immediately dies. I did that on purpose. It's in case the Jeep ever rolls, or in case the Jeep is sitting, or anything like that, and I want to ensure that there's no electricity being drawn from any of the power or any of the circuits. So, in the off position, which it is currently, there is no circuits enabled whatsoever. When you flip it to the on position like that, there are a couple constant 12 volt circuits, such as the brake lights, things like that, that are now enabled. But otherwise, everything else runs through the key like any kind of normal vehicle does. The key, we've got the accessory position to the left, we've got off, run, and then start all the way to the right. I'm not gonna put it all the way to the right because the motor will try to turn and I'm not ready to do that yet. But anyways, that's that. With the ignition key now in the on position, all of the individual switches work. We've got a total of 9 switches, 8 of which are actively used. This last switch, I don't have anything to plug it into yet, but I wasn't about to make 8 switches on this dashboard. That would look awkward. For everything else, in the general way that this goes, we've got low beams, high beams, fog lights. So we've got all of the lights up front here. When we hit the low beam light, we also get the backlight to the gauges, and we get the running lights in the rear. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that. You can see we've got the gauges are backlit a nice orange color, reddish orange color, which will tie nicely with the rest of the color scheme of the Jeep. You can see up front there, we've got the low beams on. High beams is right here, obviously activates the high beams, and then we've got the fog lights. Right here we've got the fuel pump. I'm not going to turn this on because it will try to suck fuel through the system, and I don't want to shove fuel into the carburetor at the moment. Switch number 5 is the winch controller power. Over here on the 6th switch, we've got CB power. So the CB radio is located here. It does have its own switch on it like that, but when you click and turn on that, you can then turn on the CB radio. Down here, we've got the sound tube or the boom tube. It'll click, takes a second to click on. There you go. Now you know that it's connected and you can begin to listen to music. Switch number 8 is actually being used for reverse lights at the moment. So I'm having issues with the reverse light switch on the MP435 transmission, and I have absolutely zero desire to pull that transmission off. So for now, this switch is my reverse lights, and then I can undo that and use it for something else later. And then switch number 9 is unused, but as you can see, it is functional aside from having nothing tied to it. Moving over here on this Summit Racing steering column that we're using, we've had all of the turn signaling, hazard lights, and the brake lights, and the horn all run through here. So obviously left, right, down, and then over here we have the hazard if you were to click that in. So there's a flasher relay. So the turn signals were actually kind of complicated for me to figure out. Once you do a little bit of research and you do some understanding of how the system works and what a flasher relay is, it begins to make a lot of sense, and it's very manageable to do. So the Summit steering column came with all of the hookups necessary to run a full turn signal, hazard lights, and brake lights through a 4-wire brake light system like what I have on this Jeep. There's a turn signal and a hazard power input on the cable here. You need to wire a flasher relay into that circuit. So, you know, you've got power coming from the battery to the flasher relay input, and then flasher relay output sends power to the steering column. That then allows for the turn signals and hazard lights to work as designed. There's a few tips and tricks you could give for wiring, but frankly, there's only one real trick to wiring, and that trick is patience. I redid the wiring on this Jeep like 3 times as I was working through it because I wasn't satisfied with the end result. So ultimately, the only thing that matters if you're going to take on a project like wiring a vehicle from scratch without using a prefabricated harness, you have to just be patient. that's the only way you're gonna ever get this done in a way that's gonna satisfy both you and anybody else that's ever gonna see this Jeep or this vehicle again. Hopefully this video will help some of you to do that. Hopefully you can see kind of the way I did things. I know Matt just posted his video, so hopefully you can see the way that he did things, and that will encourage you to take on a project such as this yourself. Hey, like always guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you like this content, be sure to let us know. We're enjoying making these videos for you guys. We enjoy doing this, and obviously we enjoy seeing some fruition come from our projects. So thank you for all the support. You guys take care, and good luck on your own projects.